So the truth is out. Caitlin Clark has been exposed. She has been proven to be just a regular person that just happened to be good at basketball. Now, I'm saying that, number one, if you saw the thumbnail for this, and Caitlin Clark is exposed, depending on which one you saw. But the one thing I figured out is a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people, they will judge a book by its cover. They don't want to read the instructions or read the contents of the book, things of that nature. So there will probably be a lot of people that will go off the title and won't even bother to watch the video. And that's okay, because this ain't for them anyways. But for people like me who are Caitlin Clark fans and are Angel Reese fans and are fans of the WNBA and all of the turmoil and vitriol and just attention that she has been getting, both positive and negatively, I thought this interview was funny. Obviously, me being a former Eagle, watching Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce, I like their stuff. I like their content. Plus, they went to Cincinnati, my hometown. They went to University of Cincinnati. So, you know, it is what it is. But I like their content. It ain't too complicated. It is what it is. It's very simple. They drop a couple F-bombs and they keep it real, but it's mostly lighthearted stuff. So it was fun to watch the video. They asked common sense questions. They wasn't trying to get deep. They weren't trying to change the narrative of race relations or anything like that. They kept it light. They kept it funny. They kept it, you know, on task for them. And I guess my question is, how come everybody can't do that? Because there's a lot of people that are trying to find an angle. They're trying to find something. They're always trying to find something wrong with somebody. You know, I look at the situation with Angel Reese and the stuff that she's going through now after that Jeff Teague interview. And it's like, who does that? And why? There's no reason. You ain't got to, for as many people that don't like Caitlin Clark or don't agree with some of the stuff she may have said or any situation. You know, my thing is, it's okay to disagree with people. And why can't you leave it there? I agree. I don't agree. Here's my reasons why, period. But it seems like we are in this day and age, especially with social media, you can't just disagree with somebody. You gotta go all the way into the realm of disrespect. You gotta go into the realm of vitriol and trolling and all that other kind of stuff. And it's not necessary, because the truth of the matter is, you're not gonna say that to somebody in person. You can disagree with somebody in person, but the level of disrespect people give these days is just, it's a shame. So I thought this interview was refreshing. I thought it was normal. You know what I'm saying? It was normal. They asked normal questions. She gave normal answers. She comes across as she is what she is. She can get a little dorky at times about certain things. You can tell she gets dorky, just like Jason Kelce. We in the same boat. Jason Kelce and me. You ask me a question about barbecue and watch me not shut up. To me, that's dorky. Or you can call it nerdy, whatever you want to call it. But that's fun part. That's the fun part of it. And they kept it light, and it was a good interview, and it was a fun listen. They asked, questions about life-changing events for her rookie season. I got timestamps, so I want to go through some of this stuff. She gave good answers. And when I say good, I mean like common sense stuff. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't groundbreaking, and it wasn't supposed to be. That's the one thing I appreciated about this whole thing. So, like, here's what she said about, like, her rookie season.
And it's your word. Definition.
It's yours.
Majorly historic.
I would say, like, I don't know, life-changing, maybe?
That's a great one. I think
really
and, like, all in a good way. Like, I mean, things just change really fast, like, as you guys know. Like, that's just how the world works, and especially with social media, people see a lot of your life. But that's what makes it fun, and why I've had so many cool opportunities, too. So it's crazy, like, looking back at a year ago today or around this time, like, I was just beginning my senior year of college. And obviously, people knew who we were and people attended our games, but it's obviously not on the magnitude that it is now.
So that was a good answer. Common sense answer. You know what I'm saying? She talked about social media, but didn't get into all of the blood and guts of the stuff that's going on in the background with the trolls and the racism and all of the stuff. She don't have to. You don't even have to address it. And the only time situations like this come up is if somebody is trying to create a narrative or angle or they trying to get some type of controversy for a story. It doesn't have to be there. It's unnecessary. I still go back to what Stephanie White said at the time she was coaching Connecticut, but basically she was, don't go on social media if you don't want to deal with that type of stuff. That's the only way to combat it, because you can't fight people on social media, because number one, you don't know who you're fighting, and you have no recourse on what they say or do, period. You have no control over that whatsoever. The only control you have is to turn it off. So it's cool that she didn't even get into that. She answered the question. Again, she kept it light and kept it moving. I mean, everybody can't do that, man. Everybody gets so bent out of shape on stuff. What else did she talk about? I thought it was interesting when she talked about Iowa over Notre Dame. And she said something that touched on the nerve for me, because when I'm, growing up in Cincinnati, and when I went to Eastern Kentucky, 2 hours away. And there's one thing that I say constantly to young kids going to college or entering into that conversation. You want to go far away where you can have your individuality. You can do your thing and not have your parents looking over your shoulder, because that's the only way you can grow, is if you get away. And you got to take your lumps. You got to get into some trouble and figure out what you are and aren't supposed to do. And it really determines what kind of character you're going to have, because character is basically doing what you taught or what you do when ain't nobody looking. But you're close enough where you can get home if you need to get home. You're close enough to where if somebody need to put hands on you, they can put hands on you. So I understood what she was talking about when she was talking about Notre Dame, because that made sense to me. That made sense to me. So hold on real quick, and let's try that out.
Almost ended up at Notre Dame.
I did, yeah.
What led to the decision to go to Iowa?
So I basically narrowed it down pretty early on when I was going through my college recruitment, that I wanted to be like in the Midwest, just kind of a homebody, family person, just wanted to stay fairly close to home. So that narrowed a lot of stuff down. And I visited like Oregon and Texas and a few other places, and I liked them, but it was just like, I knew it was too far. And then visited Notre Dame a bunch of times. And I was like, I love Notre Dame, and I like, as a kid, like, you want to go to Notre Dame. Like, it's the same with Notre Dame football. It's like the coolest thing in the world. Like, it's Notre Dame. It has that tradition. They've had so many great players go through there in every single sport. But, like, I just knew, like, something, like, you could just, like, I could feel it in my gut. Like, I was like, I'm not supposed to go there.
Yep.
So that makes sense. And something telling about her is, because everybody's not going to do that. Everybody's not going to follow their gut. There are a lot of kids out there now, especially with social media. You got kids putting on 3 and 4 and 5 hats to try to trick people. And it's like, why it's got to be the show? And I know I'm sounding real old school, but why does it have to be the show? It used to be a time where you were quite grateful to get a scholarship. Now they want to play the field, and I'm going to put this on, and nope, I'll trick you. I'm going to put this other hat on, or put this shirt on. And my family thought that I was going to their alma mater, and I went to their rivals, and now they stormed out the room. It's a show. You used to be grateful to be able to go to college and get a scholarship. Now it's a show. Everybody want to be on TV, TikTok, or whatever. They want a controversy. They want to put on a show, and it's unnecessary. Make your decision and roll with your decision. You ain't got to make your parents walk out of the room and all of that kind of nonsense. It's unnecessary, man. Unnecessary. The other thing she talked about that perked my ears up, because if you know me, you know that, like I mentioned earlier, I will talk about barbecue till the cows come home, because I love cooking, and that is a hobby of mine. I'm one of them guys with a big smoker. Yeah, so I'm a big time barbecue fan. So when she talk about barbecue, even if something she mentions as a kid, when for whatever reason, she had an affinity for ribs, I'm like, okay.
Apparently, you have talked about opening a rib restaurant. Is this true?
Yeah.
Are you into the ribs?
This was like such a random thing when I was growing up. I like told my mom, like, yeah, there's like this plot of land like by where we lived, and I like had this weird obsession with like ribs. It was like what I asked my mom to bake me for my birthday.
Nothing weird about it. Let me tell you, there ain't nothing weird about that.
So I was like, So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna open the rib crib, like have this barbecue joint, like
Heck yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I've kind of phased out of, like, I love ribs still, but I've never made ribs for myself, but.
Well, that's something that you need to change. But again, man, just real lighthearted conversation. And it was cool to see her having a conversation and no big questions, no big dramatic, controversial issues that you got to touch on. Like, man, just get on the podcast, have a lighthearted conversation, and enjoy it. It's nice to be able to do that. And you see the best in people. You know what I'm saying? You already know that there could be a dark side. Everybody's got some stuff in their closet. Everybody does. But this ain't the time for it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the new WNBA season. I'm looking forward to seeing what Unrivaled is about and everything that comes into women's sports. Been watching the NCAA women's basketball season. There's a young lady at Notre Dame, Hannah Hidalgo. She's from around this area in South Jersey. She's from Haddonfield, New Jersey. So I watch her because of that. She's from this area. Plus Juju Watkins, plus Silas Swords, and Lauren Betts at UCLA, and of course Dawn Staley, another Philly girl down in South Carolina. So it's fun to watch, and like I said, I'm saying all of that to say I enjoyed the conversation, I enjoyed the interview, and I enjoyed the fact that it was very lighthearted throughout the whole thing. And it's like, how come we can't have more conversations like that? I ain't saying, I'm just saying.